What if I told you that Bioshock Infinite is a bad Bioshock game? Now, before you go bring your torches and pitchforks to the comment section, hear me out for a second. I'm not saying that Infinite is a bad game, because it's not. It is a good game. But like I said, it's not a good Bioshock game. If I were to get Undertale, a good game, a very good game, and call it Call of Duty Souls, it would still be a good game, perhaps better than what any Call of Duty could ever be, but it would not be a good Call of Duty. It doesn't have what it takes to be a Call of Duty because it's an RPG, not a shooter. The same happens with Infinite, but to a much lesser extent. I just made a drastic comparison to get my point across. Now, I'm not saying that Infinite is a different genre. It is the same genre as the rest of the Bioshocks. But it still is a radically different game. Let me show you what I mean, and of course, Bioshock 1, 2, and Infinite spoilers ahead. What is the name of the first Bioshock game? It's Bioshock, of course it's Bioshock, but why? Rapture's demise was caused by a chemical called Adam, which could modify your genetic structure, but was very addictive and would drive you insane. Rapture was all about free market, personal gain, and not being restrained by morality, so in Bioshock the discovery and unregulated distribution of this substance caused a biological shock on the unsuspecting underwater utopia. A literal Bioshock. This plotline is continued in Bioshock 2, but Infinite starts over, ditching the locations and events, and with them the aforementioned Bioshock. What one would probably conclude before playing Infinite is that this new game with this new environment is a location of a new biological shock. You would be wrong. There's no Bioshock in this Bioshock. The whole biological and morally questionable themes that were what made Bioshock fresh and gave it a logical name were replaced with a cliché multiverse storyline. The only remnants of Bioshock's bio prefix are the plasmids, now called Vigors. They made sense in the first two games because they were what the game was all about. Plasmids are a byproduct of the ever-present atom problem, but here they just feel like tacked on. They add nothing to the story and are not justified in any way. They just exist, no explanation given. Side note, the origin of Vigors is retconned in the pretty much universally hated Burial at Sea DLC, which takes you back to an alternate version of Rapture to discover that Vigors are actually plasmids that were adopted when people discovered how to communicate between universes. But this is not in the original game. A game that does not deserve to be called Bioshock when its only redeeming factor for it to have that name is in a DLC. Okay, back to what I was saying. Even when these Vigors do bring a biological aspect to the game, it's hardly a biological shock, because Vigors are pretty much unnecessary for the development of the story. If they were gone, things would pretty much be the same. So basically ask yourself this question. If Infinite had been the first game on the Bioshock series, 1 and 2 never existed, but Infinite is still played and looked the exact same way. Could it have still been reasonably named Bioshock? No. The answer is no.